Hello agents, and welcome to another daily episode of Targeted Loot Today, your daily farming guide for Sunday, December 27th. In this series, we cover a lot. We got the Targeted Loot map, Dark Zone exclusives to farm for, highlights from the weekly vendor resets, and of course build and farming suggestions for anyone that's new to this video series. I'm Shadow Gaming, and if you enjoy this video, consider pressing those subscribe and like buttons below, and remember to comment below if you have any questions whatsoever. Otherwise, let's get this video started. Alright guys, so starting off with the Dark Zones and of course vendor reset highlights, big bottom left overlay that'll pop up right now is going to show those. And what I really recommend is in DZ East, there's a claws out holster with 500% melee damage and 10% pistol damage, which is definitely worth picking up for 152 DZ resources. Just remember, to get DZ resources, you got to go into the Dark Zone, of course grab loot, and then deconstruct it in your contaminated bag, and then go extract the DZ resources. Otherwise, for normal targeted loot, we got DZ West, True Patriot. I normally don't recommend farming anything that isn't a Dark Zone exclusive in the Dark Zones, but for True Patriot, I'll put my favorite build in the top right card now, a True Patriot SMG build, 4 pieces with the Memento backpack and a Sokol chest piece with Intimidate, and that's definitely worth farming for sure, but maybe not in the Dark Zone today. Next up, we got Ongoing Directive at DZ South. Now, Ongoing Directive is a great bleed damage build, but I'm going to skip it today because I just do not recommend farming for it in the Dark Zone. Even True Patriot, if it rolled with a skill tier, I would recommend it, but I don't. But what I do recommend is Dark Zone East. There is assault rifles, so of course you can have 2 exotic assault rifles, right? You got the Capacitor and the Chameleon with Adaptive Instincts, both of which are definitely worth highly farming for. But you do have some named assault rifles. One of them is a Dark Zone exclusive, the RAILSPLITTER with Perfectly Accurate, which I definitely recommend picking up either as a collectible or something you can use on your AR build. Otherwise, you got the Mechanical Animal with Future Perfection, the Burnout named FAMAS, the Test Subject with Perfectly in Sync, you know, the Maniac named Military AKM. All of those can drop in and outside of the Dark Zone as far as I know. Otherwise, that's about it for the Dark Zones and the vendor reset highlights. Let's check out what we got on the north side now. Alright guys, we're over here on the north side, targeted loot highlights, starting off with gloves at Camp White Oak. What I recommend is farming for the BTSU gloves. It grants overcharge to all your allies, you know, as long as they're at skill tier 6. Otherwise, you can farm for the contractor's gloves with 8% damage to armor. That's great for any LMG build, and of course stacking damage to armor like 2-piece Walker Harrison Co, Lady Death, or an assault rifle build. Next up is Hardwired. I'm going to start skipping this. I recommend Rigor over Hardwired because it gives you instant cooldowns versus 30 seconds off. And the best Assault Turret and Striker Drone build is no longer 3-piece Hardwired. But we do have Aces and 8s at Coney Island Amusement Park. Still a great headshot damage build. 3 pieces of Aces and 8s, 2 pieces of Aralta Holding, 1 being a backpack with Vigilance or Composure, and of course the Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter on it. You can run that with a Mantis or a Nemesis. You know, that's going to get you really high headshot damage, like 20 million plus. And then of course at Manning National Zoo, we got Bellstone Armory. So there's a named chest piece that you can get that is an everyday carrier, perfectly efficient, but I've never used it before. So if you guys have, please let me know in the comment section below how it works for you. Otherwise, the Liquid Engineer with Perfect Bloodsucker backpack is a Dark Zone exclusive. Unfortunately, you cannot farm for it from an NPC dropped outside of the Dark Zone. Kinley College, of course, is closed right now, and the Summit you pick your own targeted loot. So let's go check out now what we got on the west side. Alright guys, now we're in the west side targeted loot highlights. Starting off with gear sets, we got Rigor at DARPA Research Labs. I do recommend this one over Hardwired, like I just mentioned in North DC. But just keep in mind it's for deployable skills. If you have a turret or drone, just switching targets actually gives you that 4-piece bonus, just like it would if you destroyed a skill or deployed one. But I don't have an exact build to recommend for you just yet, but in a few days I should have it. Next up, we got Negotiator's Dilemma at West Potomac Park. Now, of course, my double LMG build needs to be in the top right card now. 4 pieces of Negotiator's Dilemma, Coyote's Mask, and 1 piece of Grupo Sombro gloves. I mix that with the Pestilence or the Bullet King, and really, it's a great DPS and crowd control build, so definitely check that out. Of course, Petrov over here at the Pentagon. Like I said, Contractor's gloves with 8% damage to armor. I would farm here instead of gloves. Target a loot at Camp White Oak. It would just be more likely that it drops here. Next up, we got light machine guns at Lincoln Memorial. You got 2 exotics, the Bullet King and the Pestilence. Those are the 2 exotic LMGs in this game. The Bullet King, you never have to reload. And the Pestilence, you can get that damage tick over 1,000,000. But remember that the damage tick from the Pestilence is not a status effect, and it is based off weapon damage. Otherwise, you got some named ones. So you got the Carnage with Perfect Sadist, and you got the new Reliable with Perfectly Optimized. The rest are in a bottom left overlay. Next up, we got Badger Tough over here at DCD HQ. So you can farm for the 0F's chest piece with Perfect Unbreakable. Great chest piece. Every 55 seconds, your armor breaks. You get 100% of it back. So it's a great survivability chest piece talent, while you can get some damage talents like Vigilance on your backpack. We got some machine guns over here at Potomac Event Center today. 3 exotic SMGs. That would be the Lady Death, Backfire, and then of course Chatterbox. Remember though that the Dark Winter and the Apartment are Dark Zone exclusives. I will list every way you can get the Dark Winter and the Apartment in the bottom left overlay now, but an NPC dropping one outside of the Dark Zone is not possible. And then, of course, the 2 named SMGs that I recommend picking up in the Light Zone would be the Safety Distance with Perfect Outsider and the Grudge with Perfect Vindictive. We got Douglas and Harding at Roosevelt Island today. You can farm for that Punch Drunk Mask with 20% headshot damage baked into it. Great for all high-end headshot damage builds. And then, of course, backpack targeted loot at Bank HQ. If you want to farm for that Memento backpack or the Acostas Go backpack, the 2 exotic backpacks in this game, definitely the Memento is worth farming for today, and Bank HQ is a pretty fun mission, actually. And really, that's all I'm going to mention today over here on the west side. Let's go check out the east side now. Alright guys, we're over here on the east side, targeted loot highlights, starting off with gear sets. We got Hunter's Fury at American History Museum. So of course I'll put my favorite Hunter's Fury build in the top right card now. That's 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury, the Death Grip gloves, and the Moontoe backpack. Now over here, Foundry Bulwark at East Mall. I really love this place, 4 control points back to back. I like farming this area, but I just don't need Foundry Bulwark. Remember though that the chest and backpack pieces are raid exclusive to the Iron Horse raid, so this is a tank set. This is what you want it for, to just tank up a lot of damage. As far as tip of the spear goes, I'm just going to stop mentioning it for right now until I can put a solid build together, and if I can't, then I think it's a dead gear set. Moving on to normal targeted loot, we got rifles at Capitol Building Stronghold. So of course you got the 2 ones that are exotics, the Merciless and the Diamondback, both of which I don't entirely recommend. Probably the Merciless more than the Diamondback, but I would recommend some named rifles like the Surge with Perfect Spike, the Baker's Dozen with Perfect Lucky Shot. Those are 2 rifles that'll drop in the LZ. The Harmony with Perfect In Sync only drops in the Dark Zone. Next up, we got Walker Harrison Co. over here at District Union Arena. You can farm that Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter on it. So this is just the best headshot damage talent you can get for any headshot damage build. So I highly recommend just getting it if you don't have it. And you want it rolled with weapon damage, weapon handling, and headshot damage. Crit hit chance, crit hit damage do not matter. They don't really apply to a headshot damage build. And then the last few I can mention is knee pads at Federal Triangle. Of course, you can farm 2 exotic knee pads in this game. That's going to be the Sawyer's knee pads, and then of course the Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads. Both are really for DPS builds. And then of course the Fox's pair of knee pads with 8% damage to targets out of cover is amazing. You definitely always want to have one of those pair of knee pads in your stash or on one of your builds, but if there's Overlord, I would farm Overlord instead. Last but not least, we got chest pieces at Southwest. The Tardigrade and the Ridgeway's Pride are the 2 exotic chest pieces in this game, but the Ridgeway's Pride, you need to have gotten it from your teammate, just shared it, or you had to have completed the project that you get from Summit Floor 100 first. Otherwise, that's all I really recommend for the east side. Let's go check out now what we got in New York City. Alright agents, last but not least, we got New York City targeted loot highlights, and it looks like we got quite a bit over here today, a lot of goodies. So first off, strikers at the Tombs for gear sets. I only recommend 3-piece strikers. I just never recommend ever going over it, just for the rate of fire and weapon handling from the 3-piece bonus. Next up, we got Providence Defense at Civic Center. You can farm that Sacrifice of Perfect Glass Cannon, amplifying all damage you do by 30%, but all incoming damage that you get by 60%. Huge risk reward factor. We got Empress over here at 2 Bridges. I highly recommend it. It comes with the 3rd piece, 10% skill efficiency, which gives you 10% skill health, skill damage, skill haste, skill duration, status effects, and of course, I forget what else, skill health I think it is. And of course, I always recommend my skill damage build. I'll put in the top right card now. 3-piece Empress, 2-piece Hana U, the Waveform holster, the Capacitor, the Harmony, and of course, Assault Turret and Striker Drone. Got Overlord over here at the Pathway Park area. So Fox's pair of knee pads, this is where I would definitely farm for them. And then, of course, Hana U at Financial District for that Force Multiplier backpack with Perfect Combined Arms. So you'd want it rolled with Skill Haste and Skill Damage. And it's great for any Assault Turret, Striker Drone build, or any build where you're trying to get skill damage, except for, like, Seeker Mines. And then holsters targeted loot at Wall Street. You got 3 exotic holsters. The Waveform, of course, the new one. And then the Imperial Dynasty holster for skill damage, just like the Waveform or status effects. And then, of course, the Dodge City holster for DPS builds, pistol builds, and headshot damage builds. We got mask targeted loot at Liberty Island today. You got 2 exotic masks, the Coyotes mask and the Vile mask. To Coyotes for DPS, Vile mask for status effects and skill damage. And I already mentioned the Punch Drunk mask with 20% headshot damage. I would farm that Douglas and Harding, I believe, over on the east side today. Otherwise, that's about it that I recommend for over here in the New York City area. Alright, agents, well, that was the targeted loot for today. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed my content. It means a lot to me, and you get my video feeds every day. If you'd like to become a member, you can click the join button below for extra support, and of course, exclusive perks, and shout out and thank you to all 5 of my channel members. Everything else will be in the video description and pinned comment below. Shadow gave me merchandise, just any and everything you can think of. Weekly vendor resets. I got a ton of stuff there. Anyway, guys, take care and be sure to stay tuned for more daily Division 2 content. This is Shadow Gaming signing off. I will see you in the next video. Take care, agents.